Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. We are taught and conditioned in our society to look at health and weight and body image and wellness and well-being. We're taught to look at it in one way, but that way is very twisted and manipulated and not entirely truthful. Because in my own personal, journey of recovery, I am slowly reprogramming my mindset to look at things in a different way, and I want to be able to share that and help others change their mindset as well. Let's try to figure out a different way to approach recovery, health, wellness. So today's video is going to be focused on eating disorder recovery, specifically anorexia. Anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder characterized by weight loss or lack of appropriate weight gain in growing children, difficulties maintaining an appropriate body weight for height, age, and stature, and in many individuals, disordered body image. People with anorexia generally restrict the number of calories and the type of foods they eat. I think when most people think of anorexia, what they're seeing is that skeletal body frame, that very emaciated, just skeletal. That's the best way to put it. It's not really a human, it's a skeleton with skin. I think that's what most people, when you hear the word anorexia, I feel like that's what they see. And definition wise, I think most people hear the word and they automatically, think of restriction and just not eating. It's a person who just doesn't eat. It is far from the truth. There's a lot of layers to anorexia. That's a very crude understanding of what anorexia is. Also, it's important to recognize that anorexia is an emotional disorder. It's a mental disorder. There's something different about the brain of someone who suffers from anorexia. A person can be anorexic and still eat regularly. It really comes down to your mental state, how you view food, your relationship with eating, your relationship with food. So my anorexia started roughly around the age of 3, and I did a whole video explaining how a 3-year-old can develop anorexia. Needless to say, I have quite a few years experience in the world of anorexia and just having a completely skewed outlook on life, on myself, for over half my life. I have been anorexic more than I have not. Let's just put it that way. So in this video, I really want to focus on explaining kind of how I changed things. How did I get to where I am now? You can take what I did and see if it works for you. And I'm going to mention some other things that I either tried, it didn't work for me, but it might work for you, and then some things that I just didn't even bother trying, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Everyone is different. The hardest part to work on is your mental state, your mentality. Changing your mentality will take a long time, but what you can is kind of help it along. What you need to start doing is start making small changes in your behavior, in your actions, and as you start to create a more supportive environment around you, it starts to change the way you view your environment. You need to create an environment around you where you feel at ease and comfortable. So start making small changes. One of the things that was very hard for me to do, but I had to do it, was I got rid of all my tiny clothes. It was a reminder of how small I got. And in my mind, I'm like, one day I'm going to be there again, but that is not the goal. The goal is to get as far away from that body size as possible, get to a healthy place. In the back of my mind, I knew that those clothes, that size, is unhealthy. I'm a grown woman. I should not be wearing girl sizes, like children girl sizes. I knew that that was unhealthy. So to hold on to those clothing, it was holding on to the disorder, the desire to be something that I shouldn't be. I should not have that desire. A healthy person does not desire to be the size of a child. So I had to let it go. I had to physically get rid of the clothes and let it go. It was very difficult. It was a tangible symbol of letting go of that part of me, that part of who I was. I am no longer an anorexic. I want to be healthy. That is what I'm striving for. I had a new goal in life, and so I had to let go of any reminder of that. I was reading an article about avoiding mirrors. I completely forgot that I had done this. I definitely would avoid mirrors, full-length mirrors, for a long time. If I had a full-length mirror, I would try very hard to just look at this part or just avoid the full-length mirror in general. I flipped it around at one point. There was no need to look at my body. So I focused on my face because I liked it. You can't do it forever. Eventually, you do have to learn to face yourself, but it's okay if this is a starting point and this is just one little thing. It teaches you that there's more to life than your body. By focusing on my face, it made me really focus on what I liked about me physically. I like my face. I like my eyes. So it taught me to see those things, not see the things I don't like, see the things you do like. All you need is one thing, just one thing that you like, and focus on that. Because as you broaden your mind to just the positive that you feel towards yourself, that makes the negative less powerful because you're finding the littlest, the smallest little thing about you that you like. You're focusing on the positive. I started to explore hobbies and my creativity. For a long time, my whole life, my whole focus was on food and eating and weight and counting and numbers and all of that. I needed to take the focus away from that. I needed to put my focus and my energy on something positive, something constructive. I need to find what I enjoy because counting numbers, counting crunches, keeping journals of what I eat every single day, punishing myself for what I eat every day, this is not constructive. This is not bettering my life in any way. I need to find things that I enjoy, things that I am good at. It's about finding other means and other outlets to feel successful because the eating disorder teaches you you're only successful when you're eating this tiny amount. When you reach this number, you have succeeded for the day. When you burn this many calories, you have succeeded. We need to find other ways of feeling success. So I started jumping back into my art and my creativity, and I just want to create and use my imagination and use my mind more than just, adding numbers together. And I started to really relearn to enjoy the things I had always liked and always knew I was good at, but for some reason I had convinced myself I suck at everything. And now suddenly it's like, I just made this. With my hands, I made this thing. That is success. Go back to the hobbies that you enjoyed. And if they no longer bring you joy, switch. It's about creating the feeling of accomplishment. So here are some other ideas. Journaling. I'll be honest, I tried it. Not for me, but I know it helps a lot of other people. Maybe try it for like a week or two, just getting your feelings on paper. If you are a writer, if you write stories or poetry or anything, it just might be a creative outlet. Spending time with supportive friends and family. An eating disorder isolates you, so one of the quickest ways to punch back, to fight back, is to dis-isolate yourself. Even if you just sit there in silence, being around other people, just listening to them talk and learning to laugh again with people and just have fun with people, it can be really therapeutic. I'm a super introverted person. Being around people makes me anxious and uncomfortable, but I'm trying to do this more and more to be more social. And the third thing is support groups. Never done that. Probably never will. Maybe I would go to a support group once. I have been invited. I never went. I think everyone should explore therapy. Everyone should go to therapy at least once in their life. Everyone needs therapy. Everyone is effed up. They will counsel you on working through underlying emotions, your fears, figure out how to reverse or channel the need to control things to other outlets. You'll learn coping methods and healthy ways of managing your emotions. Really important because when you have an eating disorder, usually you have this need to control things, and the easiest thing to control is what you eat. And they'll teach you that you don't need to be so in control all the time. Just because you are not controlling things does not mean things are out of control. It's important. Find ways to relax. When you are trying to control everything, you become very uptight. So I was reading an article, they recommend getting a massage, maybe some gentle yoga, gentle exercise, or meditation, and of course, sleep. Make sure you are getting plenty of sleep. You want to rest your brain so that you can think right. When your brain is rested and you can think right, you can think logically through scenarios where you feel overwhelmed or anxious, and you don't need to turn to negative behaviors or revert back to negative patterns. So that is just some of my advice on anorexia recovery. It, of course, a lot of those things can translate into recovery from a lot of things. I am not a health professional. This is just sharing what I have read online and also sharing what worked for me. Again, what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. We're all different. We are on very similar journeys, but we're all going at different paces, and that is okay. So I just wanted to share that with you, help you to kind of look at things in a different way. So thank you so much for clicking on the video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you could give it a thumbs down. That's cool too. If you are not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe, and thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed already. Again, I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!